So this time I have a follow-up question from Anna, the same lady that asked about the HR processes, and very good question. And this time is, how would you close the generational gap between old school people who prefer to use paper and talk to real people versus computers? It's a longer question, but I'm going to just address the first one. So it's a good question, but let's take one step further. One step back, sorry. When you're using automation, it means that you are freeing people from doing the work. So if we are going to use any kind of RPA or AI that will take certain HR process and it will do it, it means that the people that used to do it needs to do something else. It means that the process will take care of all the steps, and no manual or human intervention needs to be done. So first of all, it means that the generation that doesn't feel so comfortable to use computer is definitely not necessarily need to use computer, because the computer will do the work that can be automated. And that brings us to a classical question about the future of work. So the main concern is, if automation will take place, people will lose job, what will happen with people? And over time, I think since the second industrial revolution, the percentage of unemployment just goes down, which means that more and more people having more job rather than don't have job. So there's always a replacement of one type of jobs with another type of jobs. Now back to your question, AI and RPA are not perfect. So they will deal with common scenarios, but when there are exceptions, they will fail. And when they are going to fail with exceptions, they still require human being to do the work. And when those human beings need to do the work, they're not going to use the computer. So back to your question, those people that are more conventional, old-fashioned, or old generation, if you call it that way, sorry, they still need to deal with exception. And when they're going to deal with exception, they are going to do it in a manual way, because the computer, whether it's AI or RPA, failed to do it. Make sense? So in a nutshell, all generation will be almost not impacted by using RPA or AI, because RPA and AI are actually replacing the entire process. They don't going to interact with the system. They don't need to interact with the system. The system initiate and end the process, end to end. What they have to do is to deal with exceptions. And when exception raised by the machine, humans need to still use the old way that they are getting used to resolve the issue. And even if they need to use the machine, you can educate people. And so people can be changed in terms of the culture or the memes or the norms or their behavior within work. It's feasible. It's not easy to do it, but it's feasible. So even if they are afraid or don't feel comfortable, there's still a slew of opportunities that other portion of HR, the one with more luck, OD, can put in place in order to help people to feel more comfortable with new technologies, or to change their mindset or their mental models to be more open and willing to use technologies. Because it's not that they can't do it, they can. It's more a mental model embedded in their brain that they convince themselves that technology is better, they don't want to do it. So once you take this mental model away and you throw it away and you replace it with a new one, you will end up with a human being that is more susceptible and willing to learn new technology. So that's everything all together. RPA replacing the entire process, so people don't need to touch the process. Exceptions people need to take care of, but exceptions are done manually by people, and even if they need to work with it and they have any resistance, it's usually due to mental models or memes that can be changed, and then people are much more open to use it. I hope that answered your question. I know that there is another part, and I'll be happy to address it tomorrow. If everyone that hear this episode have any question got to do with anything that I'm publishing on our blog, which is www.ongalaxies.com/blog, feel free to ask me. I'm going to answer any question, the most tough one, and as you know, they are not dumb questions. So just hit me, shoot me. I really enjoy it. It's fun. Help me to be more happy in my life by sending me tough questions.